Welcome to the Ballin' Out Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan, here with my co-host, Billy. How you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. I can't wait to get this started, man.
Buddy, we've been dying to do this one. I know it. We're going to talk about Vols at Ohio State next Saturday night, 8 p.m. ESPN. Game day is going to be there. That pretty much tells me that's the best game of the playoffs, right? Or, well, first round anyway. Buddy, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun one. Been looking forward to it. Got a lot of Buckeyes down here, and they've had a lot to say over the years. So let's right some wrongs this weekend.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time since we got the Buckeyes. Last time, they had a Heisman Trophy, man, and we stopped him. Normally, Ohio State have great athletes, but, they're not talking about Ohio State like they normally do.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that kind of ties into the series history. Not much of a series at all, really. Vols have played Ohio State one time, New Year's Day, 1996. Vols were victorious 20-14. Eddie George is still getting hit by Vol linebackers. Still getting hit, son. So with that being said, though, I wanted to go into a little bit. Let's do all time versus the Big Ten for the Vols. And 5 all time. Who are one of those 5 losses is to Iowa way back when. Who are the only 2 other Big Ten schools that the Vols have played and have never beaten?
I'm going to say Penn State, maybe.
That's one.
Who else would?
I'll give you a big hint. Forward progress was stopped. Music City Bowl. Purdue.
Oh my God, how did I forget that one?
Yes. That was those are the only 2 teams that Tennessee's never beaten out of the Big Ten. Played them twice, lost to them twice.
I wish we was getting Penn State again.
Well, we play our cards right. We just might, Ohio State all time, 1-13 versus the SEC. Their lone win, 2015 Sugar Bowl versus Alabama, national championship. They did beat Arkansas in a vacated win from 2014, 2011, 31-26. But Ryan Day is 0-3.
Wow. I'd have never guessed that.
So there's talk that, if they don't get it done against the Vols this coming weekend, Ryan Day may be in the unemployment. They're already dying to fire him, man.
I don't think they'll let him go, man. His passion, man, is, gosh, you can't deny it, man. You can't deny that. He's a good coach. I think he is.
That's true. But
you're right. If you're not winning.
Yeah. If you're not beating Michigan, that's their big thing is that he's lost to Michigan the last two years, and you don't keep your job very long up there if you can't beat them. And this year was a bad loss for them to Michigan, plain and simple. 20-point favorites and still lost at home nonetheless. So that's interesting. We'll see what happens. A couple storylines here to kind of talk about here, though. Vols, Ohio State both come in 10-2. Let's talk about the spread. It's a 7-point spread. It was 7.5. We talked about it before we jumped on here. You said it dropped down to just a flat 7. Did the over/under move on that any at all? It was 46.5. I don't think it did.
I think it's still the same. It did not. Actually, it's 47.5.
So it went up.
No, it's still the same. It opened at 47.5.
Okay.
So that hadn't.
Right. Okay. And then, the Vols money line outright for the Vols to win is plus 220. That's a pretty hefty payday if you want to let them hang and drop it on there,
Yep, that's 2-1 right now.
Yep.
I'll take those. I'm going to play it. I am.
Well, absolutely. Let's talk about this, though, and then we'll dive into the Vols a little bit here. Ohio State coming off that Michigan loss, I think that's something we need to talk about for sure because the morale, man, like they were all upset over them planting the flag. Like, show that much fight in the game, and you won't have to worry about it. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I got it. I'm looking up the Michigan game right now.
I mean, Michigan, man, the thing about that Michigan game was Michigan is done to them what Tennessee's going to try to do. They played defense. They ran the ball. caused a lot of mistakes by, Ohio State. Ohio State missed 2 kicks, 2 big field goals. It's that it's going to be similar. I would think that our game plan would be similar. I would imagine we have a little bit of a better air attack than Michigan does because they're struggling at quarterback. But I don't feel like the Vols should be counted out of this one, because some count us out and they're just like, they're going up there talking about the weather. It's like, yeah, it gets cold down here too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're thinking, like, because we're south, but we're not that south where we don't get cold weather.
Exactly.
We're here where we get all 4 seasons.
Yes.
Cold is cold.
I mean, yeah, man, it gets colder than a well digger's ass down here. That's like the weekend of the game, man. It's supposed to be 28 degrees in Columbus, Ohio that night, 25 in Knoxville. So, I think they put a little too much emphasis in on that. Snow. I feel like if it was to snow, that would honestly favor Tennessee more than it would Ohio State. Ohio State likes to throw it around a good bit, and we're very balanced, but we rely on the run, and we've said it all year on here. Run game, defense, both travel. And that's what you got to have this time of year to make that run. So I'm not worried about it that much, to be honest with you. Of course, the big storyline, Vols wanted to host the host. We're not hosting, obviously. We're going to Columbus. On Vols record on the road this year and with neutral site games is 3-2. The 2 losses were Georgia and Arkansas, beating NC State in Charlotte, Oklahoma and Vandy on the road. So, we come out ahead on that one, and really and truly, we should only have one road loss, but it don't matter now. I think what I want to see out of the Vols for this one. I want to see the first half team that come out, the team that come out in the first half against Georgia. That's what I want to see. That energy, that play calling, ready to come out and be in a slugfest, because it's gonna be a slugfest. I don't think we're gonna blow them out. I don't think they're gonna blow us out. It's gonna be a slugfest. But I think if anybody could blow the other one out, I think Tennessee could blow them out, because our defense would do it.
Well, I just hope if Tennessee pass and attack can get it together, because we are a balanced team, but it doesn't show on the scoreboard that we're a balanced attack, because our passing game, we don't really get it going until like the second half when we got to win the game. Now we got to throw it, and we got all the position passes. We don't miss it. I wish we could come out like that every week.
Yeah. Well, the last couple weeks, granted, I realize that it's been UTEP and Vandy. The passing games look pretty good. I mean, they've come out and made some strides, it seems like, and we're seeing some of the younger guys, of course, the portal's open now, and we're losing guys to the portal left and right, but, they're not guys right now that make an impact. I think they're just guys that know they're being recruited over, and they want to go somewhere else for a better opportunity, and you can't fault them for it. But I think that the last couple of weeks we've seen some strides made in the passing game, even though it's been against lesser opponents. It's good to get your confidence up. Don't matter who it is. Got to have some confidence. That being said, though, man, let's talk a little bit about this. Let's talk about the Tennessee offense against the Ohio State defense, okay? Vols offense averages 37 points a game. Buckeye defense, though, man, they're stingy. They give up 10.9 points a game. That's tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're good on defense, man. They really are. I mean, everybody that they play, they keep my days on just like the Vols do. Now, the thing is with Ohio State defense, their defense is like every other great team. Their front seven is good. And, of course, their DBs, they're always fast. They are physical DBs. The problem is that interior is where they're getting pushed off the line of scrimmage, and everybody that has ran 100 yards on them has won the game. So the advantage to me right there, I got to take the Vols right there.
Yeah, well, okay, so what offense, they give up let's call it 97 yards rushing per game, 2.8 yards per attempt. They've given up 9 rushing touchdowns on the year. We know our rushing numbers, 232 a game, 5.1 per carry, 32 rushing touchdowns. if we can go down there or up there and run the ball on them, just cram it down their throat, they're done. They're done. They can't, if they, I don't see them having the speed for one. Now, but it's, the landscape's changed just a bit. 10 years ago, it was SEC speed versus Big Ten power. And, NIL sort of even that out just a bit. Ohio State will tell you they're not shy about it. We've got the best team money can buy is what they'll say. But, do you really? You know what I mean?
Well,
go ahead.
Well, this would be the perfect week for Nico to have a breakout game, because Ohio State, they're going to put the guys in the box and make you beat us with the run. And that's the perfect timing for play action. Like, this is where I wish we would just change the whole offensive scheme that we're doing and put the quarterback up under the center, and let's get some run it down their throat, some play action, throw it deep, and get the game started quick.
Yeah. Well, it seems like we've seen that some last year with Joe under center. I mean, it wasn't much, but and Nico's been under center a time or two.
Think about it. Every time we did go under center, it was a great play.
Yeah.
That's because that's where quarterbacks have to read, have to be quarterbacks. Like, in the shotgun, I think the shotgun makes to make all quarterbacks lazy now. They don't have to do the just step, drop back. I mean, they're already back there. I know why, but it is what it is. That's the new football in today's time.
Yeah. So with that being said, Ohio State gives up 144 passing a game, only giving up 4 touchdowns throwing the ball when throwing. So that's total 14 on the year. 13 on the year. Their defense has given up 14 though. So Vols average 230.9 passing a game, 21 passing touchdowns on the year, 12.5 yards per catch for a total of 462 per game. Ohio State's only given up, just under 250 a game. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be stingy. And, to what we were kind of talking about earlier, defense travels this time of year, and it could be a slugfest, man. I mean, it's going to be cold, and you know yourself, it's a little harder, to play in cold weather, but it's not that much cold. It's not colder than it is here. But it plays into the defense's favor, I think, the cold weather does, because it's going to come down to who can make those, 3 or 4 big plays down the field and who hits on them, Ohio State, though, let's talk third down, fourth down. Third down for the Vols offense, we're converting at a 47% clip. We're 87 for 181. They give up at a 33% clip, 56 out of 167 on third down. They're also 38% giving up on fourth down, and the Vols are right at 63% converting on fourth down. So it could come, we're going to have to move the chain. We may have to, nickel and dime them for a bit, but the thing about it is the way this offense is set up and the way Hype and company call plays, man, they're going to lull them to sleep, and then Nico's going to drop that bomb to Thornton. Just gone. 75 yards.
Well, I can't wait, man, because, the stats don't lie. I mean, both of these defenses are very stingy.
Yes.
Offense going to have to be really scrapped and mistake-free the whole game, because you don't want to let the defense score on you, because those are the type of defenses that do score. When you're that stingy, you're talking about only 4 touchdowns given up on the ground. Wow. And then the
four passing, nine on the ground, but still, man, that's yeah. Here's another one for you, man. That Buckeye defense has gotten 35 sacks on the year.
So there you go. This is going to be a challenge, man. I've been saying, like, well, we're going to blow these guys out, but I'm telling you, man, when you got a defense that with those kind of stats, you got to come out with your A game. And I hope Coach Hype and them are ready. I hope they are putting in the playbook. I hope they're not doing the same stuff that they always saying, let's come up with something new. I know they can do it. It's just bring the unexpected. Because now is the time it's not time to be shy anymore.
No, it's time to dance, buddy. It's time to get it out there and, put it all out there. Here's another one for you on the for the Ohio State defense. Red zone, 16 for 29, 10 touchdowns. All they've given up. So that means they have given up 6 field goals, and then 13 times they've turned you away with nothing. And their defense has got 9 picks on the season too. So they're like we were talking, man. They're a well-coached defense. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. They're probably having the same kind of conversation we're having, saying, okay, well, our defense is going to have to do it for us. Their offense is pretty good too, and we'll dive into that here in just a minute. Here's one thing though, to kind of play into this. The Tennessee offense has thrown 11 picks this year. I think Nico's only accounted for 4 or 5 of those. And we've had 17 fumbles on the year, but only lost 8. So that's still kind of high, but you'll take those. You'll take that. Well, let's talk about our defense against this offense though. 13.9 points a game, 99.6 rushing yards per game given up, 9 touchdowns, 2.8 yards per attempt. So we're pretty similar right there with them, even almost right down to the exact number on the yardage with our defense. Then we give up 178 passing per game, as opposed to them giving up 144 and 9 touchdowns. So I mean, man, we're right there with them. We've given up 18 touchdowns on the year; they've given up 14. So, and I would argue that we've played much stiffer competition than they have. So we give up 278 per game. Now, we're close here too. They get 35 sacks a game on the year, or they've gotten 35 sacks on the year. We've gotten 29. Good for basically 2.5 a game.
Yeah,
so,
well, I mean, we will have more, but the teams that we play, it's a different breed, man. These sacks are hard to come by in the SEC.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Third down. I didn't do our red zone stats on here, but we've hashed that out quite a bit. We know they're stingy in the red zone. Third down, we give up 30% as opposed to their 33%. So we're pretty similar there. 29% for opponents on fourth down though. 6 for 21. They're 8 for 21. So I tell you, man, the two defenses are pretty stingy, but it's also kind of like, hey, look at the competition. So now let's talk some about their offense though, because their offense is pretty prolific and mirrors us quite a bit, except for the rushing numbers. 5.5 points a game. They get 169 on the ground per game, 5 yards a carry. They've gotten 24 touchdowns rushing on the season. That's pretty impressive. They do eclipse us in passing yards and passing touchdowns. 29 passing touchdowns. They get 254 a game, 8.8 per attempt. So they're no slouch in the air game.
They have a pretty good quarterback. I mean, Will Howard, he's good, man. But if you get to him, he'll make mistakes.
Yeah. We've talked about it, man. I think that we're going to go into that game with a very similar game plan to Michigan, and that's what Michigan did. They made him make mistakes. So our secondary will get plenty of opportunities though. Our secondary has had 11 picks on the year. Ohio State's thrown 8, so they'll get their opportunities. Ohio State is 61 for 144 on third down, converting at a 42% clip. 18 for 26 on fourth, so they're right at 69%. They've only given up 12 sacks on the year, though.
I think that's going to change when we get a hold of them, because I know they have a couple of offensive linemen that are injured, and that's the problem that their fans are having an issue with. That's what they're afraid of because of the injuries to the offensive line, and they know what our D-line can do.
Yeah, that's where I think the game's going to be won, is right there on that line of scrimmage. Either way, really, but I think that's where we've got the decisive advantage, and the boys up front are going to eat. So we'll see what happens there. But let's see here. we've just got a couple more things running through here. Red zone trips for that Ohio State offense are 43 for 49, 38 touchdowns to 5 field goals.
Woo.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, man, they don't do a great job of taking care of the ball. 12 fumbles on the year. They've only lost 4, but that tells you that, you know, for every 3 that they have, they're losing at least 1. And they've only been held scoreless 6 times in the red zone, man. That's impressive. That's impressive. That's good execution in the red zone.
I mean, that comes with discipline, man. I mean, and that's why we have who we playing right now. I mean, we got 2 good disciplined teams, and that's why game day is going to be this. It's going to be a good game, man. I can't wait to see it. I mean, I wish I want to go to the game, but it's too cold for me.
Got to be sunny and 75, baby. Hey, we get past this though. It's neutral site and warm places, sunny places, warm sunny places. There we go. So, all right, buddy, we've hashed out everything. Let's get down to it here. Score prediction. What do you got?
Let's see. I'm gonna say. Let me look at this one more time before 47.5. I'm gonna go 31-24.
24 Vols. I like I like that. We cover in that one. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a little closer than that though. I'm gonna say it's gonna be, you know, this will be a familiar score to you, man. 28-24 Vols. 28-24 Vols. But I'm gonna say this: either one of those 2 scores we gave, as competitive as this game is going to be, would not surprise me in the least bit if it was the other way around. I hope it's not, but it would not surprise me in the least bit. So they're also talking they're going to scarlet the place out. So our orange will stick out like a sore thumb. They can do what they want to. There's going to be plenty of us up there. So that being said though, man, I think we've went through and hashed everything we can hash out with this game. So let's end this one how we usually end it, and go Vols.
Yes, sir. Go Vols.